harmony in the self, not in full, but a little bit of that. Then harmony in the family, the 9 feelings, we cover those. We discuss about that with examples. And then we discuss about the harmony in the society. And now we are standing on harmony in the nature. So natural environment is to be discussed. Harmony in today, as we have been discussing regarding society and almost discussed that in full in the last day's meeting. So before I just commence this, if there are any questions with regard to the content from harmony in the starting from the basic aspiration, fulfillment of basic aspiration, then harmony in the individual, harmony in the family, and harmony in the society. We can have a discussion upon this. There are certain assignments and questions also there in the previous day's meeting. Like we can have a look into the society and see what is our human goal. Is the human goal being fulfilled through our actions? Right understanding, is it helping to see that there is this happiness in every individual continuously? And is it helping my interaction with the family members so that there is prosperity in the family? Is it helping my interaction with the society so that there is fearlessness or trust in the society? Is this right understanding helping me as an individual in seeing this coexistence or this mutual fulfillment in nature? So this is what we could have explored as an assignment after the discussion on harmony in the society. So any questions or any sharing with regard to this content which we discussed so far up to session 11? We can place it right now. Mic is available with almost all of you, I think. So we can have a discussion upon this before we pass on to this natural environment. Yeah, I think there is no discussion required till the previous session number 11. We can go on with this session number 12. Devi ji has unmuted. Namaste, Devi teacher.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah,
Actually, it is by mistake only. By mistake, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So if there is any sharing, we can place it. If there is any discussion or any questions regarding the content which we discussed so far. Otherwise, we can go into the usual run of the program. Like this is, we are going to discuss about this nature. So all of us are familiar with this nature. All of us are familiar with this content which we are going to discuss right now. Well, let us see if there is something new to be learned. Let us see if there is something more we can add. Let us see if there is some more sharing we can have in this harmony in the nature. So this is another larger order. Rather, this is the one of the bigger orders which we can see as an individual. So when I see that harmony is happiness, or happiness is harmony the other way, when I try to understand this harmony, first of all, I have to understand harmony in the individual, myself. I look inwards and I see that I am in coexistence with my body. That is the first thing which I explore. And the harmony in the self and harmony in the body, both of these are important. And what is required for this harmony in the self and harmony in the body with the self, we discuss about that first. Maybe that is within us as information. We try to verify and then validate it with our experiences, life experiences. We try to ensure this in living as part of, so that our sanskar is getting enriched. Then we go to the higher order, then we look outside, that is harmony in the family. So what we can see as the immediate family members as the blood relatives, this is our body-based relationship, I would say. But when we explore regarding this content of relationship, that the relationship is there, we don't need to create it. It is, we need to recognize the relationship and fulfill it accordingly. So when we come to the discussion of these feelings, the foundation feeling is trust. We go from there towards trust is to be assured that the other ones make me happy and prosperous. So from there, we go along with respect, which is IT evaluation, then affection, care, guidance, reverence, glory, gratitude, and love. So when we raise this love as a universal value, we see that every unit in the nature is related to me. So this also is an information with me. That when I see that I can see the nature, everything in the nature is related to me. That is what I explore. So with this feeling, when I go forward, I can see that through my natural acceptance, I can have this relationship with every human being, everything in the nature. So I'm looking outside right now for harmony in the family. I'm trying to help others also because I can see that my harmony is within. What is happening outside is not affecting my harmony. And now I can help the others also, the other human beings in my family. Initially, I thought that my family is consisting of my blood relatives. Now I can see that after exploring this feeling of love, that every unit is related to me, I can now see that everything is, every human being, every other unit in the nature is part of my family. This is what I can see, so that I can work for this undivided society. And when I see that every unit is part of my family, I can work also for this universal human order. So this is my aim, and with this feeling of relationship with every other thing in the nature, we try to explore this natural environment, which is the content given in the SIP part of this students induction program. Yeah, the UHV part of this SIP, students induction program. So we have explored as individual human beings, we want to live with happiness, prosperity, in continuity. And collectively, we want to live in a human society. Well, that is what we started with. Now we will explore if there is a provision in nature for living in harmony. Is nature by way of harmony, or is nature by way of struggle, survival of the fittest, etc.? This question can be asked in the beginning to the students, and we can get some exploration from the students regarding this. So how do we explore regarding these two questions? Let us put our own exploration in the chat box, or you can use the mic. Mic is there with many of you. So you can use the mic, or you can use the chat box and explore regarding this question. Is nature by way of harmony? If that is your exploration, you can put A in the chat box. If nature is by way of struggle or survival of fittest, you can type B in the chat box. And we can see why. Yeah. Chamundeshwari ji is typing A in the chat box. Nice. So I can give mic to Chamundeshwari ji also. Nice. Devi ji is typing A in the chat box. Good. This is so many students in the when we discuss this for the first time, they may type B, or rather they may think that there is struggle in the nature, there is survival for the fittest in the nature. So if that question comes, how do we respond to that question? Isn't it there struggle in the nature that these carnivorous animals are eating this smaller animals, and the herbivorous animals are also eating this grass and other vegetation, and those who are the fittest is getting the food. So is there a struggle between these animals in the forest? And so also with the human beings, when you see human beings, this is what we used to listen to, maybe from our teachers, that unless you struggle, unless you strive, unless you try to survive, unless you come first in the class, you cannot get a job, or you cannot reach the expected outcome wherever you want to be. This is what we maybe listen from many of our teachers. So this is The students' perspective, I'm just telling, maybe these are preconditionings to the students, but how do we respond to these questions? Is nature, let us keep nature aside for some time, but at the level of human being, is it by way of struggle, survival of fittest, or is there harmony naturally? We start with that in the discussion of nature, because other things which we are going to see are very simple things which we have seen in the workshops. We can go through very quickly, but this question has to be answered very precisely. I think so. When you say there is nature is by way of harmony, yeah, we have to give some kind of say trigger for exploration. I would say. I won't say response. I won't say statements, but some kind of trigger for exploration. Chamunda is typing, we should try for natural harmony. Yes, very true. But those who say that there is struggle naturally or survival for the fittest naturally in the human tradition also, how do we respond to that? Because human tradition, the human beings are part of nature. We cannot be away from nature, we are part of nature. Now we are trying to explore regarding this responsibility of the human beings in the nature. Nature is one of the larger orders. So we can put it this way, roughly, that when we say struggle, there is always a possibility for opposition. When I try to come first in the class, yeah, Ruby is stepping harmony. When I try to come first in the class through struggle, I always be in opposition with the other students in the class. This can happen. I try to fetch more marks. I try to get maximum information and not share the information with others also. This is part of my opposition. I want to become first in the class, but I don't want anybody else to cross me. So I struggle to come first somehow, and I have to fetch the best job, the best pay package, so that I can live better. This is what I may think, or maybe a student may think. I have to struggle because I have to compete with everyone. I have to beat everyone to stand first. So we can ask, say this may be a kind of an expression given by a student. So we can ask a student, if you became first in the class, if you became a person who is having the best pay package, if you are getting so much of money, maybe as salary or something, maybe the remuneration, whatever, pay package, and you can fetch so much of physical facilities, are you happy? Will you be happy? We can just let him explore or her explore like this, and let him or her see the things through the natural acceptance, and see that ultimately we want to be happy. Ultimately we want to be prosperous. And for that purpose, more than physical facility, what is required is this relationship. Relationship is very important. The importance of relationship has been discussed already, but when we say struggle, the student may not be seeing this relationship. So relationship with oneself, relationship with other human beings, relationship with every other unit in nature. All these are important. So when we see that there is I am related to all, then this relationship itself takes away this feeling of opposition. I will be in a feeling of harmony, and I can share this harmony with the other units of nature also. And I will share my information, whatever I am getting, with my colleagues also, so that they can also excel. Then this competence, I would go for this collaboration. This is something which we discussed in the previous sessions also. So the collaboration, competence, collaboration, competition, this point can be brought in here. So when I struggle, there is no when there is no kind of collaboration, there is competition happening. But what is desirable is collaboration. I can help myself and I can help the other. When I try to help the other, I'm also improving. I'm also getting enriched. When I share some knowledge which I have learned, information which I learned from somewhere, when I share with the other, my exploration is getting enriched than the other person. The other person is getting this information. So unless he or she explores, this information will not be deep rooted in that person. But I can explore. When I share this, I can explore more. And that is helping me to deep root this information. In fact, when you go for an interview, when you go for a selection process, this helps much better. But that is not the expected outcome, but we just try to help the other person also to come to a good level of competence. Skill also we can just share. We can try to make the other person also skillful through our sharing. So there is nothing called survival of the fittest. I'm trying to become excellent, and at the same time, I'm trying to help others also to excel. So through this, everyone can become excellent. There is a possibility for that. And this natural harmony. So when everyone is excelling, when everyone is seeing this feeling of relationship with every other human being, then there is no struggle, there is no survival for fittest. Rather, there is harmony in every human being. And this is what we refer to as the undivided society. And now we go into nature, where we can see that there is a natural harmony in the nature. So the carnivorous animals will not eat all the smaller animals. Whenever they're hungry, they eat for food only. They hunt for food only. Otherwise, whenever they are full, stomach is full, even if a small animal passes through them, they will not kill that small animals. This is there. And all these herbivorous animals are not eating the entire grass in the forest, in their vegetation in the forest. There is a perfect harmony between, there is a perfect ecosystem which is there between all these creatures in the nature, in the forest, to be precise. So these units, like animal order, which we are going to discuss right now, all the animals, birds, the vegetation, everything in the nature, there is a harmony. We can see that if you observe, if you explore, we can see this harmony. But the harmony may not be there in the human self. This is a point we are going to come to in the existence. So before we go to that, we can try to help the students to explore in this particular question. Is nature by way of harmony? Is nature by way of struggle, survival of fittest? That is why I just spend some time upon this. So any sharing from your side with regard to this? Any questions from your side with regard to what we discussed just now?
Hello, am I audible?
Namaste. Yes, David is audible.
Okay. Actually, the three orders of the nature is in harmony. So in day-to-day life itself, we can very well observe it, I think. So when I used to be in kitchen, when I am cutting vegetables, I used to keep the seeds, and I used to get most of the vegetables from my ground only, from my kitchen garden only. And this, when I am again, this bio waste I will keep on one side, plastic waste on other side, like that only if we are doing now. So from this, when again, the some of the vegetables, when again from the seeds, again it will come up. Then again we can take up that. So that time we can see that if we are treating our these plants and their seeds and the nature in a proper way, it is cyclic process only, so that there is no way of thinking about the survival of the fittest. Because whenever there is, when there is no self, then how come the survival of fittest will arise? So we can think of harmony in the, because when this human order comes into that, only this disturbance is coming. harmony is getting disturbed. Even otherwise, so the three orders are in harmony. So it is that cyclic process is going on. So we don't have to disturb. So even though I'm not looking into nature properly, from my small circle itself, my kitchen, my garden, and myself, like that, if I am treating also, I can see that harmony. So when this word I am seeing the survival of the fittest, now I am thinking, I don't know whether somewhere I am mistaken. Why we have to think of the survival of the fittest? Because my PhD work and all based on optimization, that time this word was so familiar to me. I used to think about the survival of the fittest. But when I am looking through this universal human values, I am feeling that this word is not coming into picture when everything is in harmony, I think. Even in nature, it is not coming.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
I
Nice.
don't know. Yes.
Thank you, Devi, for exploration. Thank you. So I will comment upon that, but there is some more exploration. I think they're coming. So somebody else also has unmuted.
Okay. We can hear.
Anybody else would like to share? Okay. So that is a nice exploration by Devi teacher. When there's three orders, that's why I jumped into this slide quickly, because this is very familiar to us. How we group these into the units into these four orders is very familiar to us. So we don't need to spend much time upon this. So the physical order, where we have air, water, soil, metal, etc. This is having only this formation, deformation. There is no growth for these the units in the physical order. That is how we classify and we group this into this particular physical order. But in the bio order, we have these plants, trees, herbs. Then we can add the small insects also into this. Small fishes, insects are also coming into bio order, where we have growth, but there is no self-associated. Growth is there. There is formation, deformation. There is respiration, growth. These are the innateness of the bio order, the units in the bio order. That is how we classify this over here. But in the animal order, in addition to this respiration growth, we have this will to live. So the self is there. Self is associated with these animals and birds, where we have this assumptions. So David teacher was telling about these three orders: the physical order, bio order, and animal.
Yeah. But no knowing, even though yourself. Yeah. Okay.
The possibility of knowing is not there, but assumption is there in the self of the animals also. But the brain is not developed. The possibility for this knowledge is not there in the animals. They are working largely for the physical facilities. So maybe the assumptions which they have with the human beings is also like that. If the human beings are providing them food, if they're providing them with shelter or protection, then the animals are associated with human beings. There's a kind of a association. If the human beings are disturbing or trying to harm the animals, then there is a different kind of an assumption with animals for the human beings. Now, these three orders, as Devi teacher was telling, there is a perfect harmony. Because this assumptions are also not going into kind of disharmony over here. The assumptions are largely for this physical facility, for these animals. But animals with animal consciousness is okay, because that is their nature and there is no possibility for development. So this is what David teacher was telling, these three orders, but there is only one difference which you can see is that the self is there. When David teacher was telling with that, when the self is not there, there is a perfect harmony. But in the third order, the animal order, self is also associated because there is possibility of assigning.
Okay. Yes, definitely. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, whatever teacher was exploring and sharing was connected to the content, and that we can see that very nicely. Thank you, teacher, for that. Yeah. So this is how we group the units into the four orders. based on the recognition fulfillment, whether there is growth, whether there is assuming associated to this recognition fulfillment, and the possibility for potential for knowing is there or not. This is how these units are grouped. And there is only one way of grouping it. There are many other ways of grouping these units into various orders. So in the first two orders, the physical order and the bio order, there is recognition fulfillment. But in the bio order, there is growth, respiration. These are the innateness. But in the physical order, there is the formation, deformation. That is innateness. Matter may transform from one form to the other. This is happening in the physical order. For example, water. Water is, if you see the chemical composition of water, it is 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen atom. Hydrogen is a volatile, it is inflammable gas. Oxygen is a gas which is helping this burning. But when they come together in a certain proportion, we see that fire extinguisher is formed, which is water. So that is something, some surprises which nature has. So this is formation, deformation, transforming one form of matter into a different form of matter. That's it. But there is no growth over there, no respiration over there. But in the case of bio order, these cells are there as a basic unit. Of course, atoms and molecules are there as the basic constituents of these cells also. But when these cells are there, formed from these fluids, there is this possibility of respiration and growth. Cells are growing. So here also there is the generation and degeneration of cells that is happening. And when there is growth, like you can see a plant which is like maybe a small seed which is of a say milligrams weight, maybe in the beginning, and that goes into a very big tree. So the weight goes to many tons. So the growth is happening, respiration is happening. It is helping the oxygen content in the environment also. So we know several things regarding these plants. So trees are also helping this, and herbs are also part of this for sure. And because there is only recognition fulfillment, we will add these small insects, small fishes also into this, where in those creatures there is no possibility of assuming. These are also part of this bio order, where there is respiration and growth as the innateness. And in the animal order, we have animals and birds, where the innateness is this growth, respiration, and a will to live in I is also there. I want to live. The I is there. I means the self is there, which is in coexistence with the body of the animal or the bird. So this assuming is there. Assuming changes depending upon the situations, but without knowing. The possibility of knowing is not there because the brain is not that much developed. And in the human order, this possibility of or potential for knowing is there. And that is how by human order is placed separately. Human beings are the only species, only creature in the human order. And the potential for knowing is there, but how the human order is working with the other orders is something which we can explore upon over here. That is a focus of this harmony in the nature. So this is how the units are grouped together over here. Now we see the relationship between the units. So if we explore a little bit, we can see that there is this physical order and bio order. If you take these two orders, there is cyclic. The two orders are mutually fulfilling. That is, the plants, they grow on this soil, and with the help of water, sunlight, they produce their food. So you can say this air, water, soil, they become part of the plants. The plants convert them into another material form, and they use this food for their own growth. And whatever is left out will be stored in the form of fruits in the plant. And that is being used by the animal order, which is going to come later. Animal order, human order is there. So when the plants decay, they become part of the physical order, they become part of soil. So there is a cyclic formation, deformation happening in this material of these plants, trees, herbs, etc. with the physical order. They are mutually interconnected. Without the physical order being there, the plants, trees, herbs, they cannot grow. Air is being breathed by the plants, trees, and herbs. So this respiration is happening because of that, and that is required for the growth of these plants. So these things are something which we have learned in science, and the students also will get connected with this when we discuss this content with them. And it is easy to see that this cyclic nature of this physical order and bio order with a little exploration, interconnectedness between the physical order and bio order, interdependence between the physical order and bio order, this is very evident. And every unit in this physical and bio order are enriched because of the relationship with the other order. So this is what we discuss in this mutual enrichment, mutual fulfillment between the two orders. And you can also see that there is abundance of physical order because that is the largest in size in the nature. There is abundance of physical order for the bio order to grow, to thrive, as we say. So this is the interconnectedness between the physical order and the bio order. Yeah, Ravindra Kunduji is typing recycle order, each other. Right, nice. So any sharing with regard to what we have discussed so far, we can place it now. It is better than
So
I
what,
speaking. Yeah,
okay, yes. So physical order and bio order. So though they are
each other.
so there
What is
no competition we can see there, no? So they're fulfilling each other and it is moving one after other. It is growing or it is fulfilling like this moving, no? So there is no concept of survival of the fittest.
no competition, no survival for fittest, no struggle among these two orders. They are mutually fulfilling, helping each other by way of nature.
In physical order by way of nature, yes. That process is going on.
Yes. So this mutual fulfillment is a learning for the human beings. But are we actually looking into this? Yeah. Are we actually focusing when we discuss this with the students? We can ask them whether they are focusing upon this. That these two orders are occupying more than say 60-70% in the entire. Maybe the animal order, the human order, that is very small compared to these two orders, the physical and the bio order. Maybe more than 80%, 90% of these units in the earth, this is occupied by these two orders and they are mutually fulfilling. There is perfect harmony.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That is clear.
Yeah. So through exploration, we can learn many things. We can understand many things from this mutual fulfillment of these two orders. How the units are helping each other in growing, and how they become part of when the cells decay, when the plants reach their life, how they become part of the soil again. Nice. So this is it. Then we can add the animal order also into this. Animals also depend upon the physical as well as bio order. For example, the animal for shelter, animals make their dwelling places using the physical order, the elements in the physical order. So dens, for example, for some of those animals, and the place where other animals, birds also use several units from the physical order and some of the units in the bio order also to make their nest. So this is very interesting to see how they form these nests and their dwelling places. So with the help of this physical order and bio order, animals and birds, they survive, or rather they have this growth, they have this will to live. Both these are being fulfilled with the help of this physical order and bio order. They do not have this ability to prepare their own food, so they depend upon the bio order for their food to survive, for their shelter, for their protection. They make use of the physical order. You can see that. And in return, animals and birds help the bio order to prosper. That is, their seeds are being pollinated or being transported to other places when the animals and birds go. So many of the plants and trees are being grown. Rather, naturally, they are being grown in other places too because of this transport happening through these animals and birds. The trees, plants, they cannot transport by themselves. They stand on one place only, but the birds and animals can travel. Birds, to be precise, they travel. Maybe there are some birds which travel the entire world, or more than half of the world. They travel. They can transport these seeds, unknowingly, maybe from one place to the other. So this is happening as in the nature, like this interdependence, interconnectedness. You can see over there. And when the animals and birds, excreta of the animals and birds will become like fodder or become like manure for the plants and trees on the other hand. And when they die, when the body of these animals and birds, they reach their lifetime, they become a part of this soil and they become like manure or fodder to the plants, trees, etc. So this is a mutually fulfilling nature. There is absolutely no kind of waste which is produced in the forest unless there is human intervention. Are you able to see this? There is perfect harmony in the nature when there is no intervention of human being. There is perfect harmony in the forest.
Yes, perfect harmony, yes. But we can see that whatever is written is clear. Every unit is getting enriched because of this loop. Okay. So fulfillment is there. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the first thing. Then when we bring this human order into this, what is happening? Human order is now brought into, they depend upon all the three orders for their living. Physical order, air, water, soil, metal, everything is required for breathing, for drinking, for dwelling. So these things are required for human order to survive, for their living. Bio order, they depend upon the bio order for their food largely, and also for their living. They make use of the bio order. Trees, for example, are made use of. Many of the plants are being made use of. Many herbs are also being made use of, like medicines or some other thing. Animal order are also helping the human order to survive. The milk which we get maybe every day morning, you can just think of that. And animals are being made use of for transport and anything else. The animals are being made use of. Without this, if any of these orders like physical, bio, or animal order is not there, then the survival of the human being is a little bit difficult. But I would say it is difficult. Okay, so this is there. So human order, the human beings require the other three orders for the living of the human order. But what about in return? You can see what is happening to our soil because of the continuous use of these fertilizers, because of the continuous replenishment of water, or rather use of water, not replenishment, I would say, because of the continuous drawing of water. In many places, this water table has gone down by many meters. So this is just one example. Are we focusing upon this conservation part, or are we just drawing these resources continuously from the physical order? Bio order also, we cut so many trees. The percentage of forest which was available earlier was very much sufficient for the earth to survive. And what is with the rate of cutting of trees, with the rate of the damage the human being is doing upon this forest, if it is going like this, maybe after some 50 years, the ecosystem may be in trouble. So the percentage of forest is coming down, and that is affecting the whole ecosystem. This also is a concern. And human beings kill the animals not just for some purpose, but for no purpose also. This is happening. Just for fun, just for pleasure, human beings hunt. It is exactly different from the carnivorous animals hunting the smaller animals. Carnivorous animals hunting they hunt the other animals only for food, but human beings do this for other purpose also. Yeah, so this is there. That is why many of these animals are now extinct. Many of the species are now become extinct. What is the major reason for this? The human beings are having this potential for knowing. Human beings are also having this assuming the acceptances changing with this knowing. So when the knowing is not complete, when the knowing is partial, when it is incomplete, we say without proper understanding, without right understanding. There may be understanding, but without this right understanding, the human being is not fulfilling for any of the other three orders. This is the current scenario. Are you able to see that? And do you wish to add something more to